Okay, welcome sports fans. What are we here to do today? We are looking at the 110 meter hurdles. Let me just pause there so we can take a look at this. So 110 meter hurdles, I believe we have 10 hurdles that we go over here. The hurdles 1 to 7 are normal hurdles. So as you would see now in front of you, when you get to hurdles 8, 9 and 10, obviously they're the jumps which have the blue bit, so you do go quicker. So the key to this is there's technically two rhythms you need to find. You need to find the rhythm for the first 7, and then you need to quickly shift into a quicker rhythm for 8, 9, 10. And the reality is that actually the quicker rhythm is on 9 and 10, less so 8, because 8 you're still going into it normally. So again, standard start here, we can see if we are trying, let's just play a little bit, if we are trying to use background for when to hit go, we can see we've got the two moving signs, advertising signs on the right and left. Let's just see where we get to. Set, go. And we can see that both of those advertising boards are really not giving us any information to be able to help us decide when we need to go. This obviously might change. I do need to go back and do the 800 meters, because the 800 meters we do now have a change where they are giving us a constant trigger as to when to hit a perfect start, which is great. And I'll create a video on that coming up in the near future. I've just got to finish all the rest of the events. But we're going to be doing, been going through hurdling, then we've got the next is jumping, and the final one being throwing. So, as I said, we've hit start there. We are doing the timing which you've heard me do before, which is just the 1, 2, 3 count. It's pretty good from my perspective. It gets me a lot of perfects. Obviously, it's good this time, but we can't always get a perfect. Oh, I'm yawning today. Perfect score. Normally should edit that type of stuff out, but I'm not. I'm going to keep it in there because we're authentic. So anyway, so we hit good, and then we are approaching here. Let's just roll it so you can see we hit good. So you can see there was slightly late into that one. And then we've hit a perfect. So I'm just going. What I'll actually do is let's just run through it once, and then we'll come back and have a look at all the different bits. So, as I said, here we are. I'll do this as I'm playing it. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So I would have probably got a perfect start there off that. If not, it's a very good. It's a perfect good. So you can see how we've got ourselves into the rhythm. Speed up, and I hit a hurdle again. We can always take that piece out. But we don't. We keep them in. We don't just show the best results. So, what we can actually begin to see here is... Let me just go back a bit. We're actually going to show the 110 again, because we weren't happy with that one. So... let's see how we do now. Now, one of the things I will say, and I think a lot of this is personal preference. Some people will, differ to what I say on this, but lane choice is really big in 110 meter hurdles, and there is a reason why, and I'm going to show it. I quite like my athlete to be at an angle. So there we go, perfect start. Now, the reason I like to be at an angle is I feel like where you're lining up, essentially you're focusing on the orange the yellow triangles. So essentially you're trying to line up those yellow triangles to get the perfect. I less so look at the line, I look more at the triangle. I just find I get a better result. Then we can get ourselves into the rhythm. If you can keep the rhythm, then you'll be good. Now, the reason why I don't like lane 1, but I don't like lane 8. Lane 8 puts me too straight. I just like the angle. But the other reason why lane choice is important It's a very good example here. I'm just going to accelerate it a little bit more. So what you'll start to see is, I personally find that the other athletes really interfere with your trying to see how you're lining up. So there we didn't do great there. We're going early. Do we get it back? We do get it back. And why do we get? But again, look at this. Is that triangle? I've actually got it into quite a nice little middle groove there. But you can see how the person in lane 3 really does block. Really does block the view. It's personal preference. It is a weird one. And then obviously we need to dive for the line. But if I just go back ever so slightly here, see, I don't like 8 because 8 it just feels too straight and flat. 7's a bit flat. So actually, my favourite lanes really are 3, 4, 5. Borderline 6. 2's a borderline as well. I'm not a big fan of 1, 7 and 8. 1, you're far too far over. So, if you are trying to get your best time, obviously, go for it. But don't beat yourself up. If your times are slightly slower in 1, 7 and 8, you might be similar to me in how you do it. Alternatives of how you can do this race, yes, you could look at the line. Let's just go back a bit. But the line really, look how blocked out the line becomes. Becomes quite hard to see the line. Now we can see the line. And we hit again. And for some reason, as soon as you then get ahead, here's the perfect. Let's just go here. See how the line starts getting blocked again. Now, logic says, well, the easiest thing to do is to focus on that outside yellow triangle. Why am I focusing on the inside yellow triangle? Again, personal preference. But if I'm doing this, for some reason, if I look at the yellow triangle on the inside, I can't get it right. I might give you a bit of a live demonstration of this at one point when we go through, and we'll come back to that. But yeah, I can't. I struggle on that left hand triangle. So I do focus on the right. I mean, I think it's because, yeah, that's why. So I can show you why I don't like the yellow triangle. That just immediately reminded me of watching that back. So the reason being is, if you look here, so as you go towards this, you are going, well, my athlete blocks it. Now, I suppose there could be a way you could try and time that yellow triangle, but it's, yeah. I might well give that a bit of a go. Yeah, because when you're in lane 1 and 2, it's probably your best bet. Yeah, probably your best bet. Look at the triangle, but I don't like the yellow triangle on the left. As I said, the person has to run by it. It obscures your view. Equally, though, your view gets obscured on the right-hand triangle. It's really going to be a case of what works best for you. And the main thing about 110, rhythm. Get your rhythm going like that, and then you'll do well. If you're trying to go for the world record or national record, if I'm trying to beat my own PB, I pretty much have to nail every single hurdle. Maybe you can get one that's not perfect, but pretty much I think if you want the world record, you need a perfect run. So you have to be able to find that rhythm as you go through. The other thing as well is as you start upgrading your athlete, cards upgrade, the rhythm gets different, the rhythm gets quicker, the rhythm changes. So you have to have that adaptability from the rhythm, as you see that rhythm come through. So, there we've just shown you can hit hurdles and still get first. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, and we can see we've got decent times as we go through there, so it's pretty good going. So that's it for the 110. I really don't think there's anything additional to that we should probably go through. So, as I said, rhythm, get your time in. It's, you know, it is a feel event. It is not necessarily one where you can use specific criteria out there. It really is a bit of a feel event. So that's it for today. We have done the 110 meter hurdles. We'll be producing the 400 meter hurdles next. And see you around in the near future. Cheers. Bye.